What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Car Collective. If you're new here, this is the channel where we break down the newest metal hitting the streets, dig into the designs nobody's talking about yet, and give you our honest, no-fluff take on where the car world is headed. If that sounds like your kind of thing, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Tap the bell so you don't miss anything, and let's get right into it. Because today's video is a big one. We are talking about the 2027 Honda HR-V. Now, before anybody starts typing away in the comments, I want to be upfront with you guys. What we're looking at today are renders. This is not an official reveal from Honda. This is not a press release. This is a digital preview built off where Honda's design language has clearly been trending. But I'll tell you what, whoever put these together did their homework. Because this is one of the most aggressive, most convincing takes on a future HR-V that I have seen. So grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's dig into every single detail, because there is a lot to talk about here. Let's start from the front, because that's the angle that's going to stop you mid-scroll. The nose on this thing is completely transformed from the HR-V, today. We've got this split headlight setup, thin, razor-like daytime running lights that stretch out toward the fenders, and then the actual headlamp units tucked in below. It's giving serious, business energy. Honestly, it reminds me of some of the design cues we've seen trickling down from Honda's higher-end concepts. Then look at this. There's an illuminated outline that traces around the grille and up along the hood line, almost like a lighting signature that frames the whole face of the car. That's not something you see on the current gen HR-V at all. That feels like a genuinely new design direction. The grille itself is this deep, honeycomb mesh pattern. Real technical looking, not the simple slats we're used to. Big Honda badge dead center, HR-V lettering off to the side, and the lower bumper continues that same aggressive theme. Sharp creases, more mesh work, and what almost looks like function vents down at the corners. This is not a soft crossover face anymore. This is something that looks like it wants to be taken seriously next to the sportier compact SUVs on the market. Now let's swing around to the back, because this is where things get really interesting. In this shot, all four doors are open, which is actually great for us because we get to see both the exterior rear styling and a peek into the cabin at the same time. Starting with the exterior, you've got a full-width taillight bar, connected red lighting running edge to edge across the tailgate, which is basically the industry standard now for anything trying to look modern. But the execution here is clean. HR-V lettering pressed right into that light bar, AWD badge sitting just below it. So this render is clearly imagining an all-wheel drive variant in the lineup. And then look down at the bumper, quad exhaust tips. Now, realistically, the HR-V has never been a performance-oriented vehicle. It's always been about efficiency and daily practicality. So seeing quad pipes here is definitely the render taking some creative liberties, almost imagining what a sportier HR-V flagship trim could look like if Honda ever decided to inject a little more attitude into this segment. It's a fun thought experiment. Even if I'd bet real money, the production numbers wouldn't quite match this visual. Wheels on this thing are big, dark, multi-spoke, and they completely fill out the wheel arches, which honestly does more for the stance of this vehicle than almost anything else. A lot of times, that's the difference between a car looking like a rental and a car looking like something you'd actually want parked in your driveway. Now peek through those open doors, and you get a preview of the interior. And this is where the color story really shows up. We're seeing black leather-style upholstery with red accent panels on the door cards, red stitching running through the seats. This whole cabin has a sport trim identity going on. It's a clear departure from the more subdued interiors Honda has offered in this segment before. Let's actually get into the cockpit now, because we've got a great straight-on shot of the dashboard and steering wheel. First thing that jumps out, that steering wheel is wrapped in a two-tone treatment with visible red contrast stitching, paddle-style controls on either spoke, and the Honda badge sitting proud in the middle. Behind it, you've got a fully digital gauge cluster, clean and modern. No more analog dials here. The infotainment screen is mounted up high on the dash in that tablet-style floating layout that's become the norm across basically every manufacturer at this point. And you can actually make out app icons for phone, fuel, Bluetooth audio, and what looks like Honda sensing shortcuts. So the tech layer here seems to be building on Honda's existing connected suite rather than reinventing it. Below the screen, and this is a detail I really like, they kept physical climate control knobs. In a world where everybody is burying every function inside a touchscreen menu, having actual twist knobs for your temperature and fan speed is something drivers genuinely appreciate, especially on the move. The trim piece running across the dash has this technical mesh texture that ties back into the grille design up front. So there's a consistent design language happening from the exterior into the cabin, which is a nice touch of cohesion. Down at the center console, we've got a chunky gear selector wrapped in that same red-stitched leather, sport-style metal pedals down by your feet, and a cluster of drive mode and function buttons around the shifter. All of it points toward Honda, leaning into a more engaging, more premium-feeling cabin experience for this next generation, at least in the trim being imagined here. Now let's talk about the back seat, because practicality still matters, especially in this segment where a lot of buyers are cross-shopping based on cargo space and rear seat comfort. The rear bench looks nice and wide. Same black leather with red piping running through it, and you've got a drop-down center armrest with dual cup holders built in, which is basically a must-have at this point for anyone doing road trips or school runs. There are rear air vents mounted up on what looks like the back of the center console, so backseat passengers aren't just getting the leftover air from the front. Headroom looks solid too. You can see a sunroof cut into the roofline up top, which always helps make a compact cabin feel a lot bigger than it actually is. So let's zoom out and talk about what all this could actually mean if Honda goes anywhere close to this direction with a real HR-V refresh. The current HR-V has been solid for Honda. It's been a dependable seller in a segment that's absolutely stacked with competition. But the design has honestly started to feel a little safe compared to rivals like the Chevy Trailblazer, the Kia Seltos, and even Toyota's Corolla Cross. If Honda does push towards something with more visual attitude, sharper lighting signatures, a more premium cabin, and maybe even a genuine sport trim with all-wheel drive, that would be a real statement in this class. Whether the quad exhaust, full-send aesthetic from these renders survives all the way to production? I have my doubts. Automakers tend to tone things down for the real assembly line. But the bones of this design direction, the lighting, the cabin tech, the sportier trim treatment, that all feels believable given where the rest of the industry is heading. So that's my full breakdown on these 2027 Honda HR-V renders. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments. Are you here for this more aggressive direction? Or do you think Honda should keep the HR-V simple and practical, the way it's always been? Drop your thoughts below. I read every single comment on these videos. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button. It genuinely helps this channel grow. And if you're not subscribed yet, now's the time, because we've got a lot more of these design deep dives coming your way. Thanks for hanging out with me today. This has been the Car Collective. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.